You're 35,000 feet in the air, sipping your ginger ale, watching clouds zip by, and it hits you. How is this massive chunk of metal even flying? Planes are everyday miracles, and we almost forget that we're literally hurling through the sky at 500 miles per hour in a machine that weighs over 80 tons. So today, let's unpack how commercial airplanes actually work. The lift, the engines, the insane safety systems, and even what's really going on behind those cabin walls. And yep, we'll finally settle the question. Are pilots still flying? Or is it just autopilot all the way? Let's take off. Let's start with the basics of flight. To get an airplane off the ground, 4 forces are at play. Lift, weight, thrust, and drag. Lift is the upward force generated by the wings, and it has to overcome the plane's weight, which is just gravity doing its thing. Thrust comes from the engines, pushing the plane forward, and drag is the air resistance that tries to slow it down. But the real magic? It's in the shape of the wing. Airplane wings are curved on top and flat on the bottom, a design called an airfoil. This forces air to move faster over the top than below, creating lower pressure above the wing and higher pressure underneath. And boom, you've got lift. That's how something as heavy as a fully loaded Boeing 747, nearly 900,000 pounds, can leave the ground. If lift gets a plane off the ground, thrust keeps it moving, and that's the engine's job. Most commercial jets use turbofan engines. They don't just blow air out, they compress it, ignite it, and explode it in a controlled way. Here's how it works. The fan at the front pulls in tons of air. Some air goes through a compressor where it's squeezed under high pressure. That compressed air gets mixed with fuel and ignited in the combustion chamber. The hot air expands and blasts out the back, spinning a turbine, which powers the whole cycle. The result? Thrust. A lot of it. The GE90 engine on a Boeing 777 produces over 100,000 pounds of thrust and is powerful enough to pull a loaded freight train. Now let's shift inside the cabin, where you experience the flight, but don't see all the systems keeping you comfortable and alive. At cruising altitude, the outside air is way too thin to breathe. So the cabin is pressurized to simulate conditions around 8,000 feet, enough oxygen for most passengers. But there's more going on. Air is filtered and refreshed every 2 to 3 minutes, cleaner than most office buildings. Temperature is zoned throughout the cabin so it's not freezing in one row and boiling in the next. Cabin lighting isn't just mood lighting, it's adjusted to help with jet lag by syncing your circadian rhythm. And those little air nozzles above your head, they're called gaspers, and they're your best friend during turbulence. Here's a wild fact. Over 80% of aviation accidents happen during takeoff or landing. Why? Because these are the most complex, high-pressure moments of a flight. During takeoff, pilots hit V1 speed, the point of no return. After that, the plane must take off, even if something goes wrong. During landing, planes touch down at around 150 to 180 miles per hour. Pilots use a combo of reverse thrust, spoilers, and brakes to bring the plane to a stop, all in under a minute. That jarring landing bump? Totally normal. In fact, a slightly firm landing is actually safer in some conditions. Ever looked out the window and thought, are those wings supposed to bend like that? Yes. 100%? Yes. Airplane wings are designed to flex a lot. This flexibility allows the wings to absorb turbulence without cracking or snapping. In fact, during stress tests, Boeing bent the 787's wings upward by more than 25 feet to test durability. That flex saves lives and keeps flights stable. Now let's look at safety systems. Commercial planes are built to be insanely safe. We're talking redundancy everywhere, multiple engines, multiple electrical and hydraulic systems, backup oxygen, manual controls in case everything electronic fails. Flight computers are often triple redundant, meaning they have 3 systems doing the same job, in case 1 or 2 fail. Your odds of dying in a plane crash? Roughly 1 in 11 million, safer than driving, biking, or even walking in some cities. Yes, modern planes use autopilot, but no, it's not flying the whole flight while the pilots nap. Autopilot handles things like maintaining altitude, navigating waypoints, managing speed, and engine performance. But pilots are always in control, monitoring systems, adjusting to weather, and taking over when needed. Think of autopilot like cruise control in your car. It helps, but it doesn't drive for you. So next time you buckle up, remember, commercial aviation is one of the greatest engineering feats of our time. You're not just flying, you're sitting inside a finely tuned, pressurized, turbo-powered, data-driven miracle. If you learned something new, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your biggest flight curiosity. Maybe we'll cover it in the next one. Thanks for flying with us.